Well,
Do you have something smokier? Or?
That's right. He goes, you want a reposado, añejo? I was like...
Then you get detailed.
How is the añejo? Don't know what it is. How's the añejo? I go, is it a little more gold? He goes, yeah, typically it smells. I go, yeah, well, let me try. Well, yeah. I don't know what the fuck I'm doing. Hit or miss. And the other day, of course, the other thing I said was when Nate said, do you work out? I'm sorry, let's back up.
I'm talking about Nate Diaz.
I hung with Nate Diaz. Very exciting for me. I saw him just walk by me at this place called Barley Mash, which is exactly what it was, just a mash pit. And
it's a bar or club? What is it?
It's a bar, very popular bar down in San Diego. And I walk up and I go, Nate, I'm Brian Callen. I have a podcast. He goes, I know who you are. Yeah, man. And he gives me a hug. And he's with his posse of dogs. His tribe. They just come back from Tijuana, where they were fighting in a pit. Imagine. You're talking about human pit bulls.
Pit fighting in Tijuana?
Young warriors, young with ears closed up, young, nice guys, but the kind of guys that they're young, they're in their early 20s.
If someone says the wrong thing, you're going to have yourself a problem.
Their language, they are fluent in the language of
testosterone.
Of testosterone and the martial arts. Mm-hmm. They can't wait. They'll kick you, punch you. They can do it 1,000 different ways. So when you're a civilian like me, mind your P's and Q's. Now, I'm an older guy, and they were very cool.
You get in trouble in San Diego with that attitude, for sure.
You can get in trouble.
If you're looking for it in San Diego, you'll find
the one place you don't want to mouth off.
San Diego.
Is San Diego. I had a guy just
Remember, there's also the military bases there as well.
A lot of SEALs.
Those
a lot
boys
of Navy
are no
SEAls.
punk either.
No, sir. Well, at my show, I think it was on Saturday, I had the first 2 rows were all 10th Planet Jiu-Jitsu. They were all, I looked at them and I just saw ears and traps. I was like, is this just all fighters? They're like, ah! And it was literally the whole 10th Planet studio. So shout out to them for coming and thank you. So yeah, it's if you're not Navy SEALs, they're probably going to do some. So
you got to watch your P's and Q's.
Mind your P's and Q's and everything else, which is exactly what I do. And when I embarrassed myself because Nate came to my show, which was exciting, with his dogs, and we went backstage, and Nate said to me, you work out? And I said, yeah. And he goes, what do you do?
You couldn't wait for him
you train? And I said, I box.
Oh, no.
I just said, I box, and I left it in the air. And then he goes, that's cool. And then I said, well, let me just reiterate. I hop around a gym with gloves on. You box.
I hop around.
I will move around in a gym, and I wear headgear, and I'm not a boxer. And then I he would have died. All those guys are just doing shots of Jameson. And Nate, there was a little weed that was provided anonymously. And Nate...
Well, it is. I mean...
Nate rolled the biggest...
Legal.
It's legal.
You don't have to...
That's true. I keep forgetting that.
Yeah, you act like...
I keep forgetting that.
And there might have been a joint. I don't want to...
There was a bottle of weed.
It's legal.
There was an old tincture bottle of weed that was poured out by the wonderful management. And Nate, without missing a beat, rolled the biggest blunt I've ever seen in my life.
He knows his way around the blunt.
He had a tobacco leaf. It was like, I got one. And I pulled it out, and he rolled it up, and it was the biggest. It was a cigar, and he was toking on it
like Arnold Schwarzenegger,
and down in Jameson, and 100% sober as far as I could tell. But the Stevie Blue Eyes was so high he didn't even know. He's like, dude, I'm so high.
Stevie tried jumping into that.
He tried jumping in. The
Stevie,
management, everybody tried.
Listening. Ain't for you, son.
Yeah, everybody tried. The management, everybody, and the management was excited. And Nate Diaz was there. We were all excited. I had him brought in the back way, and I look at Nate and I go, I've been working on this thing where I'm trying to go low.
That makes me sick.
And I jabbed.
People took pictures of you doing this.
Well, I know
and they
that.
send them to me.
I know that. It's embarrassing. And I go, and
I immediately send it to our friend Rogan.
I go, God damn it.
I went, hey, look who came to Brian's show. Of course, Brian's trying to take boxing.
Not only that, I go, I keep getting hit because I'm always looking for, and he goes, yeah, it's cool. And I go, and the next thing I know, Nate is teaching me boxing. Nate Diaz is showing me how he blocks shit, and I'm sitting there as we're both squared up, and nobody took a video of that. I wish they had, because I was learning how to block, and he's throwing it. Now you know, throw it a bit. You can jab me like I'm moving like that, and move that, and it was very interesting. And then we went out, we got in a fight. 6 dudes came at me.
This is the same as your Instagram story?
No, this is a different story. That Instagram story was bullshit.
Okay.
That Instagram story was bullshit.
Okay.
And Nate goes, fuck these motherfuckers. And I go, Nate, stand down for a second.
And you handled it.
Well, I opened up
From
with
what
my
he
feet.
taught you?
I opened my feet and I used what he taught me. And I beat the fucking shit out. I worked bodies. I worked the body because I don't want to get sued.
Now
for
does
hitting you in the
Nate
head.
want you part of his crew?
Nate said, man, you dog, man, you got to start fighting in Tijuana. Come out, hang out with me, train with me and stuff. And
I'm curious what kind of fighting in Tijuana. I've never heard of. I mean, there's so many shows now. I wonder why they're going down to Tijuana.
I don't know. I just don't know. But you
So
know
what?
what?
If it counts on the record too.
Oh, maybe. It just seemed like his two guys won too, and they were very excited. But they fit in that area. When I looked at that crew, I was like, Tijuana's a rough spot. Those guys are pretty safe. I would imagine. Well, now there are guys.
Why? Because they can.
There are cartel guys out there. Yeah, there are cartel guys there that beg to differ.
No. Yeah, that has nothing to do with it. People make that mistake all the time. That has nothing to do with it.
They got guns around there.
We'll take the toughest guy in the UFC, put John Jones in Compton. What?
Yeah.
No, they don't. Well, it's not a cage fight.
No. We don't fight with
Isn't
our
that
hands.
weird?
We'll shoot you and chop your head off.
Yeah. It's the same as actors thinking they're tough because they played a role, like a boxing
Correct.
role. Yeah.
Correct.
Same shit.
So by the way, I got a boxing lesson from Nate, so I feel like I'm ready to start actually taking fights. That's good.
We could line one up in Philly or DC.
Would love it. Please make sure it's a real opponent because I'll light him up like a fucking Christmas tree now because my Nate Diaz defense is stupid now. It's crazy.
Did you ask him who he wants to fight next or any of that?
Yeah, and he said, I don't want to fight nobody. I'm doing a good Nate Diaz impersonation. He goes, I don't want to fight nobody. But, some motherfucker gets up and goes, fuck you, man. Like, he goes, and I want to fight that motherfucker. Like, in other words, he's
waiting for someone to call him out?
He's waiting for somebody to call him out.
Well, Tony Ferguson called him out.
I think that Nate is at a point, and he's smart, where he is not going to fight unless he gets paid a lot of money.
He's asking $3 million.
Good for him. He deserves it. I mean, I want him to get paid.
He does, but that's not the way this works.
It's not the way it works.
I know you just met him, and that's the way it should go, but that's not the way it works. The only chance he would ever make 7 figures if Conor fought him. That's because of Conor. Anyone else is not even close to that money.
So, but I feel like he's got such a like an underdog. People love the guy now. Like I feel like he's the guy people would tune in to watch again. I mean, and I don't know to the tune of $3 million. But I do think
$3 million ain't happening.
I do think that ever since he went, I'm not surprised, motherfuckers. Mm-hmm. I feel like
you're saying ever since he beat Conor.
Yeah, I think he really gave himself
definitely a way bigger name.
Yeah.
But him versus Tony Ferguson isn't. It's not breaking records.
Right.
Him versus Khabib isn't breaking. It's just not.
Yeah.
It's just not.
Yeah, that makes sense.
But him and Conor in a trilogy for the 155-pound belt. Now you're talking about the biggest fights of all time. That's the only fight.
Is there a reason?
That makes sense why he should.
Why have they not made that happen? Probably because Conor has no interest in fighting.
Serious? Well, remember Conor and Floyd.
Conor and Floyd.
Yep. That's all. That's the big payday. If that, for whatever reason, doesn't work out, I think the next fight would be Conor versus Diaz.
Your brother, Jay Schaub, sent me an old fight of Arturo Gatti with Floyd Mayweather. And it was amazing to see, as a young man, how Floyd Mayweather could make a great fighter like Arturo Gatti look like a complete amateur.
I mean, older.
They had to stop the fight.
Yeah,
he was older, I guess, wasn't he? I don't know.
Yeah. Why would Jay send you that fight?
Because Jay thinks that that's probably what will happen to Conor McGregor.
So he thinks old over his prime. That doesn't make sense.
But
so he thinks an old out of his prime Arturo Gatti would mimic a Conor McGregor?
Well, I think
that's
even a guy
awful example.
No, not really, because even an old out of past his prime Arturo Gatti is easily as good a boxer or better than Conor McGregor, right?
I'm so blue in the face talking about this because you can't. We keep going over this. Well, why wouldn't he send you Canelo? Like out of all the, why would you send Arturo Gatti? Or why wouldn't you send a Maidana fight?
Why don't you ask your brother, bro?
Well, because you're defending it now.
Well, that's right.
I can't talk Floyd or Conor anymore. I literally can't. Especially, I just can't.
Is the fight for sure going to happen?
We don't know. If it does September, I literally can't talk about it. It makes me sick. I talk about it so much.
Yeah.
Especially with people who like keep arguing box. I can't do it. I literally cannot do it.
Well, I'll make my predictions when the time is close.
We're dying to hear it.
When the time is close, I'll make my predictions.
Yeah.
I'll make my predictions.
San Diego is fun, though. San Diego's really fun. It's one of my favorite cities.
It's fun. It's a party place.